it's not very common for somebody in a wheelchair to do Tough Mudders as it is. I don't know anybody walking around doing Tough Mudders. So like, the first time I met you, it was crazy that you were showing me like a lot of the stuff that you've been in and everything, and that's incredible.
Yeah, so I guess when I was 19, I fell off a roof when I was at work, and then I kind of, I had to find a new avenue to get my aggressiveness out, you know what I mean, and my competitive spirit, and I being in my wheelchair, I didn't really find any like necessarily wheelchair sports that I was like, oh man, this is awesome. I want to keep doing that, And I had my brother asked me to run a half marathon with him. So we signed up for a half marathon, and we went down to LA and ran a half marathon in Hollywood.
Wow.
And then when we got done with that, my brother's a stocky guy, he's probably like 5'8", 200 pounds,
Okay. He's beef.
Yeah. So
he's some beef.
So he said, hey, that was fun, like running that marathon, like the half marathon all together like this, but my body's too big to be like running on the concrete like that,
No.
like concrete pounding,
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll see what else I can look into, And then maybe like 4 months later, somebody posted a picture of some guy pushing a guy in a wheelchair in the mud, and I was like, oh man, I wonder what this is. So I like clicked on the link, and ran down the rabbit hole, of what Google does,
Of course.
And next thing you know, I find this thing called Tough Mudder races, and I was like, oh, all right. I mean, it looks like somebody else in a wheelchair has already done one. I just clicked on the thing and signed up for it, not even knowing what they were yet,
Yeah.
And after I signed up for it and I started doing my little bit of research, I was like, oh man, it's gonna take more than me and my brother to run this race, and I'm gonna have to find a team. So I have my track bicycle that I have, and I jumped on my track bicycle and I rode to my friends' houses on this bicycle, and when I got there and told them why I was riding my bike to their house, like, and what I wanted to do with them. Like, how could they tell me no as I already rode 2 miles across town to their house and stuff, So next thing you know, I got 5 great people that wanted to carry me through the mud and up and down hills. So we went to Tahoe the first time, and we, like I said, I did it with my little brother, So like it was pretty cool because I felt like I watched him grow up on the course type of thing,
Really?
I lived with him his whole life type of thing, loved him forever, and here we are on this course, and I'm like yelling at him, like, hey, when we get to these obstacles, like I trust you the most, get over here, like quit letting my friends that are just because they're older than you, like, push you out of the way and stuff. You're my brother, like get over here, And he's like, I know what I'm doing. My brother's real calm and stuff too, like the opposite of my wildness, So he was he's like, I know what I'm doing, man. Like, I'm saving. Like, I know what I'm doing. Well, we finally get to this obstacle that's, I don't know why they call it an obstacle. It's just literally walking up the hill, straight up and down for a mile, and there's like wood chips on the ground to make it softer, like to make it like harder to walk up to, Yeah. And my brother walks up in front of all those guys and he's like, all right, get out of the way. And picks me up and puts me on his back and like carries me up this hill, like in front of all my boys, that were acting big all that time. And then when my brother saw this hill, puts me on his back and walks past people that aren't carrying somebody, like, oh man, it was amazing. Like people were like stopping, like watching him, and they're like, what the, like, and they're like, that's amazing. I'm having a hard time walking up this hill by myself, and he's carrying that guy, like, yeah. So and. So it was something that was easy to fall in love with because of all the camaraderie and stuff that's out there.
Yeah, I think that's why people love the Tough Mudders, is just because it's like there's a little bit of teamwork and like even just like hyping people up, like you like, come on, let's go. Also, like diving face first into some mud and having to do like some army crawl through a patch, and it's
Yeah, the ice bath, man. The ice bath is definitely a thing.
You do ice baths?
Oh man, when they have an obstacle on the course where you gotta like climb over like a fence and then jump into the water, you know, and it's all ice, and then you climb like underneath this thing and jump out on the other side, and that's it'll. I don't know if I ever got warm again after jumping into that ice. You know, like
Really?
I felt like it took me a year to get warm again.
Oh God, dang, that is rough.
Yeah, the ice. I'm telling you, I've been in some cold situations on those Tough Mudders, man.
Is like the first one the hardest, and then they get like easier, or is there like a season where they're just like super tough? Do you do them all year?
Well, I did the Tahoe course is definitely the toughest course that I was on, and that was the first one I did. You know, and there was all the courses that I've been on personally, I can't compare anything like them. You know, there's nothing like the Tahoe course. It's up in the air, so you lose your breath. It's in the mountains, and it's not like there's very many trails, you know, like, so making my wheelchair go all the way through Tahoe, that one was the toughest. But in all actuality, I did the world's toughest mudder also in Las Vegas, and that's a 24-hour race, but that's a different kind of tough, you know.
Yeah. How do you go for 24? Like, do you like pitch a tent halfway through or something?
I mean, we did have a pit crew and a tent area.
Okay.
But I had a goal of doing 25 miles.